Hello and welcome to the next edition of Eclipse Pro Wrestling. I'm your host, David Scheller. I am in a ripe state right at the moment, but glad that you could be tuning in.
Absolutely. I am
Uh,
Steven Anderson. It's great to be here tonight from La Cruz, New Mexico for Eclipse Pro Wrestling.
Indeed. Glad that everyone could be here today. Start with none other than our opening matchup with Daniel Cole taking on Hirooki Goto in what should be a very hard-hitting affair.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more. I mean, if you've been following over the last couple of weeks, David, which I know you have because we've been calling a lot of the action together, but for those watching, Daniel Cole has been quite on a decent run, if you'd say, the last several weeks. So I think this is going to be a great opening match for tonight's events. But Daniel Cole, as long as he keeps on the trajectory that he's been on the last several weeks, I think I could see him coming out with a victory here.
Hirooki Goto, known as one of the gatekeepers in his home promotion of New Japan. Very interesting to see if he continues to hold that reputation.
Well, this is going to be the first time that these two are going toe to toe like this. So it's going to be interesting to see that his style of wrestling, that strong style of wrestling, going up against Daniel Cole. Again, Daniel Cole done a great job so far in Eclipse Pro Wrestling. This is going to be a new challenge for him. I want to thank everybody for joining tonight. Oh, interesting.
We're seeing Daniel Cole now arriving to the ring. Of course, now opting to look through the audience more so than arriving from Goldberg's locker room.
Yeah, and this is, I mean, it was the last time. This is not the first time. I mean, the last time we saw Daniel Cole in action, the same thing happened. He sort of came out. He was up against.
Hiroshi
That's
Tanahashi, if
right.
I believe correctly.
That's right. And he didn't come. He came out the same way that he's coming out now. Usually, we see him coming out of Goldberg's locker room, but this time and the last time has not been the case. So it begs the question: why is there? Is it a mind game that he's playing? That Daniel Cole is playing? I guess time will tell.
Of course, now we'll see Hirooki Goto make his way to the ring.
Definitely people excited here tonight to kick off the action for Eclipse Pro Wrestling. New Mexico. It's good to be here. I got to tell you, with as cold as it's been throughout the majority of the country, it's nice to be somewhere where it's not a complete frozen tundra.
Indeed, of course. A lot of parts of the state's being hit with freezing temperatures.
Yeah.
Now sitting in the desert.
Yep, exactly. But I'll tell you what, it gets cold in the desert at night. I will admit to that. It does get cold in the desert at night, but it's nothing compared to what you're seeing on the news. Hope everybody's doing okay out there in internet land, staying warm, staying safe, regardless of where you are.
I'm glad that we could start our show without a preemptive strike from one of the competitors.
Yeah, and going back to that, David, last week we had at least two matches, and I think they were our first two opening matches where we saw AJ Styles try a preemptive attack against Cheng Yu. It did not pay for him. Cheng Yu ended up coming out of the victory there. And then Fierce versus Bad Luck Fale, where the same thing kind of happened.
Indeed, I think there was actually a couple more if I'm not quite sure, but of course seeing these two start off with explosive. Oh!
My God.
Handspring stunner off the ropes.
Definitely great action so far between these two as we kick things off tonight. Definitely not a surprise out of the likes of these two competitors.
Oh. Both these competitors looking to lay in some deadly strikes. Blackout seeming to focus a fair bit on his kicks here.
I think that's a good strategy because, you know, you get better leverage with those legs and you're probably going to get better force with those legs.
What would be the game plan here for either competitor, would you say?
You know, for me, it's going to be about speed and agility. Look at the build of Daniel Cole. Look at the build of Hirooki, right? Their builds there. I think it's going to be about who's going to be able to outpace, who's going to be able to outmaneuver one or the other. Both great competitors. I think Daniel Cole has an advantage because he has had more of an impact in Eclipse Pro Wrestling so far. But again, I think it's going to be a matter of agility, speed, and technicality.
Whoa. Devastating knee to the gut there. Reversal on the Irish whip.
And it's those kind of things that you're going to have to watch out for, those reversals, right? Especially on a thing like an Irish whip where you have a lot of momentum. Uh-oh.
Is he lining up for a superplex to the outside? Oh, no. Up and over. Oh, both men down on the outside now.
Oh, God. Here we go.
Hear the crowd chanting, "This is awesome."
Well, it definitely is awesome. I mean, these two now, like I said, as you see, it's brought them in and out and back inside of the ring here. For an opening bout, it's definitely been quite competitive between these two.
Goto made the mistake going to burst. Delivers a go to sleep.
Wow.
Oh, what a near fall.
I thought that was it, David.
Just never know where Eclipse is concerned. Explosive finishes out of nowhere. Go to sleep, not a finisher I'd actually associate with the Blackout.
It does seem a little out of his repertoire, but he pulls it off well and it's effective. So why not?
Oh no, I think he's heard us going for it again. Does pull it off well, no doubt, but not paying off. Still just another 2 count.
Well, again, this is very like Daniel Cole, David, where he's staying on top of his opponent, applying the pressure appropriately and tactically with those pin attempts, and the maneuvering beforehand to justify those pin attempts. So, good strategy.
Now we're seeing a pin attempt from Goto. Not even getting a 1.
Great action, though, I gotta admit. Look at the crowd. The crowd's already on their feet. It's the first match of the night, and New Mexico is standing, and I can't blame them at all.
Goto leaping over that spear.
It was quite a leap, wasn't it?
Have you seen much of a pace differential between these two stars yet?
You know, when you ask me that, and I go back to those leaps that leap that we just saw a little bit ago, I feel like
I know. We've seen this before. The O'Connor roll suplex. Up and over into the bridge pin.
Oh, God.
Oh, that was as close to 3 as you can be without it being 3 on the dot.
It was very close, David. I'm a little surprised from Hirooki. I'm surprised that he's not... I don't want to say that this is a bad outing for him, because it's not necessarily a bad outing for him. I just expected a little bit more, maybe. But I guess that goes to show Daniel Cole's
guillotine
prowess
there and walks away with a submission victory.
Very well done.
Don't believe there was much he could have done after the O'Connor roll left him laying.
Right. I was going to say that was really the nail in the coffin, in my opinion, when it came to this match. Great outing by Daniel Cole.
Indeed. Goto definitely no slouch, was going back and forth for the majority of the match. Just being able to string together the O'Connor roll into the blackout was what could do it for Daniel Cole there.
Great way to kick off tonight's action. No doubt about it, huh, David?
Indeed. Of course, now we see the Dark Star Kota Ibushi, current contender to the Solar Championship, taking on Rusev.
It's going to be a big one, in my opinion. Correct me if I'm wrong, David, but this is the debut for Rusev.
Indeed it is.
So, yeah, I mean, we've seen Kota Ibushi. We know what he's capable of. And for those who, know Rusev, obviously they're aware of what he's capable of. But I think this is going to be one hell of a match, because the difference in size between these two is worth mentioning. Rusev is coming in at 6 foot, 310 pounds, I want to say. And I don't know Kota off the top of my head. I've called a lot of Rusev matches in the past, so I'd have to go to my record. So, yeah, 205 pounds for Kota Ibushi, 5'11". So 205 pounds versus 310 pounds. I mean, that's a pretty significant size difference, wouldn't you say, David?
Indeed.
And it's his debut. So I think that it's going to be basically brute versus speed, in my opinion. And not to say that Rusev is not fast, or because he can be. For a big man, Rusev is capable of a lot of things. He can be very agile, he can be very technical. But Kota Ibushi is going to have, that's, in my opinion, speed in his, an arrow in his quiver will be speed, going up against a guy like Rusev.
The Dark Star making his ominous way down to the ring.
I got to tell you, I think this has got potential to be one hell of a banger of a match, just because there's two sides, two polar opposites here when it comes to wrestling styles and when it comes to the build of the competitor. Like as you see
now
there.
Just seeing Rusev make his way down to the ring.
Absolutely, the man is a beast. Again, weighing in at 310 pounds, 6 foot. He's built like a brick shit house, if you don't mind me saying. And, again, Kota Ibushi's at 205, 5'11", 205 pounds, 5'11". So it's going to be interesting to see how these two go tit for tat right now. People are definitely excited in New Mexico to see Rusev make his debut here at Eclipse Pro Wrestling. Want to thank everybody who's watching, whether they're watching live or watching a replay.
Indeed, thank you for all the support. Appreciate it.
Wow, this is impressive.
Indeed, Kota Ibushi going to town, as it were, on Rusev.
Yeah, indeed, it's impressive. He came out. Kota Ibushi came out guns blazing.
Paul's got a lot to defend here. The contendership not on the line tonight, but if Rusev was able to put Kota away, would give him quite a challenge right to the Solo Championship.
I think it would definitely be, I mean, yeah, that contention is not on the line here, obviously, but it would definitely be a good impression to make, especially for Rusev making his debut. Shit.
Oh no. Just getting a 1 count. Of course, Kota with that flow of bros could be starting to wonder what it would take to keep Rusev down.
It's going to take a lot to keep a big man like Rusev down. Not only is he a big guy, but he's very, how do you say, perseverant. The guy, his mentality speaks for itself. His mindset speaks for itself.
Oh, the splash to the outside gets the knees up. Rusev can look to take control in this match now.
Great opportunity for him to do so, and I think that all this time while we were talking, that's probably what Rusev was waiting for, was simply just waiting on the right time to make his, to change the tide of the match into his favor.
Rusev perhaps too angry to get Kota Ibushi back in the ring. Kota Ibushi throws Rusev back in, and the action begins again in the ring.
You know, I like to see that because when not that I'm against anything outside the ring, you know, it's just that it's dangerous. So don't want anybody to get seriously hurt. And you know, number two, you know, there's less order out there. So unless it's like a hardcore match or a stipulation where falls count anywhere, definitely prefer to see the action in the ring.
Oh, a moonsault. I wonder if that could go anywhere. It's in a 2 count, but not much more than that.
You know what, though? In my opinion, for Kota Ibushi, I mean, or for either competitor really in this match, go for the pin attempt if you have the opportunity. In my opinion, it plays a psychological role where you're getting these pin attempts and you're trying to stay on top of people.
The Dark Stars fall. And that was all she wrote.
Wow.
Kota Ibushi walks away with the win.
I gotta tell you, David, that's a surprise. You know, I'm surprised that I'm not surprised. I'm surprised because I expected Rusev on his debut at Eclipse Pro Wrestling to really make a splash. And you know what? I'm not surprised because really what we saw out of Kota Ibushi was textbook Kota. That textbook speed and agility. He was just able to outpace and out-wrestle Rusev, and that's why he got the W.
Indeed, no escape when the Dark Star falls on you. Kota Ibushi looking to face the Spartan at New Moon. The winner will walk away with the Solo Championship. Both competitors looked very impressive.
Looking forward to that. Mark your calendars. David, remind everybody when the pay-per-view is.
It is the Well, actually just need to double check the date. It will be next week. It will be the 27th of February.
Definitely looking forward to
Oh, actually
that.
no, it may be the 28th. It'll be the 28th.
I always get confused just because of time
On the
zones and stuff
27th
like
we
that.
have our pre-pay-per-view show, and then on the 28th we have the New Moon pay-per-view.
Definitely going to have a lot
Anyway,
of action at that pay-per-view. Looking forward to it.
another announcement regarding that pay-per-view, not only the date, but Killer Cross and Killer Cross and Many-Faced Heel. I nearly said Many Killer Cross, but Many-Faced Heel and Killer Cross have been confirmed. They'll be facing each other in an Extreme Rules match, with both men being banned from attendance for the past 2 weeks due to their vicious assaults on each other. It has been given the hatchet to bury in the other one's skull if necessary at New Moon.
I think I might be having some technical issues on my end because I lost my feed. Let me refresh.
Oh good, just kick them under, it should start working. Of course, we also now have a handicap 2-on-3 match. Slade Wilson and the Sir taking on the Job Squad. Of course, they have faced them recently in one-on-one competition, now adding the third man.
It's going to be an interesting match, David.
We have
Handicap.
also
Yeah, go ahead.
We have also been told that at the end of this match we will see if the Sir accepts the challenge put forth by Shredder Slade Wilson.
Huh. That's interesting. I mean, it's going to be a very interesting match in the first place, just because of the paradigm that we have here. But definitely looking forward to seeing what happens between the Sir and Slade Wilson, especially considering that they're going to be working together here in this match versus the Job Squad.
Indeed. Although we have been promised no infighting between them, at least by the Shredder. I wonder how this may go.
I'm looking forward to it. I think that the Job Squad, it's very easy to underestimate them. But this is, just to be clear, everyone who's watching, this is a 2-on-3 handicap match. So I think that that's a feather in the cap of the Job Squad, and don't put anything past them. Just because they're the Job Squad, going up against the Sir and Slade Wilson doesn't mean anything, in my opinion. I think it's going to be a good match. And the Sir and Slade, as you mentioned, have their own business.
Indeed. Of course, if the Sir accepts the challenge, will be one-on-one with the Shredder for the Comet Championship.
Yeah, they'll be.
As the Shredder makes his way down to the ring.
There's going to be gold on the line there. So it begs the question: how well will they be able to work together in this match that they're going into, where they're already outnumbered?
Of course, the supervillain incarnate, full of bravado as he makes his way down to the ring.
Very electrified. He's got a lot of energy. I love it. I feed off that energy. The crowd is feeding off that energy, and looking very optimistic coming into this as he enters the ring there. I'm trying to think back when the last time when I saw a 2-on-3 handicap match, and I can't remember off the top of my head now. Isn't that sad? Must be getting old.
Not a common occurrence either, as we now see the inaugural Comet Champion making his way to the ring.
I've said it once and I'll say it again, David. I love the artistry that's shown in the belts here in Eclipse Pro Wrestling. The championships are unlike any other championships I've seen. They stand out, and they're very pretty belts. And the Sir wears it well.
Of course, the crowd enthralled with the Sir, no matter where he is.
He's another one, very much like Slade, you know, coming down the rampway here, very positive, very optimistic, has the wind behind his back, as they say, and he's got every reason to have that wind behind his back because he's carrying the gold right now. He's carrying the Comet Championship. Very much unlike the normal or the status quo when you're talking about matches. With this match being a 2-on-3 handicap match, I'm looking forward to it. Just because, like I said, I can't remember the last time I saw a 2-on-3 handicap match. Memory is not the best either. Very sly, very.
Now we finally get to see the 3-man job squad come to the ring.
Now, one could make the argument, David, that the job squad is going to be on this. It's going to be on a more contingent page. They're going to be. I see the job squad working very well together.
How big is that man?
Jesus. That's one hell of a beard. I mean, that beard is a weapon. It could be used as a whip.
It's almost like they've recruited Braun Strowman and put him in a fake beard.
Do you happen to know how tall he is? Because I'll have to get a better look when he's in the ring. But my goodness, you're right. And the difference here, seeing Job Squad make their entryway, taking their time, not being showboaty. Wonder what he's drinking. This is what I'm talking about. The job squad seems to be, in my opinion, first of all, they came out together. The Sir and Slade Wilson came out independent of one another. My goodness, look at that size difference. Wow. I'm at a loss for words, David.
The longest entrance I've ever seen a jobber get.
I got to tell you, I'm enthralled by the size. I got to get a record book somewhere. I want to see a height weight stat for him, and I also want to know how long that because if I can get a height stat, I can tell how long that beard is. I mean, it goes all the way down to his belt buckle. I mean, if the job squad can get a victory here, I think it says a lot for them. I mean, hey, they might have to change their name. I got to tell you another thing, David. I don't think I've ever seen anybody that would go by the name of Job Squad that has the size. My goodness. Can't wait to see him get in the ring. Already saw one tag there between the Sir and Slade a few minutes ago. Going back to what I was saying, I was questioning how well the two are going to be able to work together. So far, it seems to be that they're at least working together to some extent.
Oh no, the big man's in the ring.
My God. What a behemoth, David. What a giant. Wow. That was some great work there by the Sir. The Sir's doing a good job staying on top of him and made that tag just right.
Trying to go for a quick.
I gotta tell you, both teams are being really smart, in my opinion, up to this point. I know it's just really kind of getting kicked off, but so far I think that both teams have been, from a tag perspective, have been pretty smart, knowing when to tag in the other, when to do tandem maneuvering after a tag. Very smart in that regard. Wow.
Huge. The huge man, definitely not.
I mean, did you see that just a few minutes ago? He happened to punch Slade, even though he was on the side of the ring there, and Slade was a little. He looked like he was seeing stars for a second there.
Scorpion death drop on the huge man.
My God. I'm surprised he was able to get his arms around him, because look at the size difference between the two. There's a huge delta.
Man, so able to get the boot up there.
And again, before that, very smart of Slade to tag in Sir. I mean, they're working very well together in that regard. Going back to what makes a good tag team, in my opinion, it's always been being very conscious of your surroundings and aware of the timing.
Two.
Wow. The Sir, my goodness.
The Sir flip, hands them the win. Man, getting the giant man around in a Canadian destroyer like that, that's sheer impressive.
The bigger they are, David, the harder they fall, and there is a prime example. I thought that was a lot shorter than I really expected it to be, but you know what? More power to Slade and to the Sir. There's a reason why the Sir is the Comet champion, but that was impressive of Slade to get that Scorpion death drop in when he did, and that Canadian destroyer was also wow, very phenomenal.
They just shook hands. Is that the challenge must have been accepted?
I'm surprised that they worked so well together.
Well, it's official.
Given what's in store.
We've got the Shredder Slade Wilson taking on the Sir at New Moon for the Comet Championship.
Wow. Good outing by the Sir and Slade Wilson. I'm surprised, but that they were able to work so well together. Good for them.
Of course, now we head to Cheng Yu and AJ Styles facing off with Shinsuke Nakamura and Hiroshi Tanahashi. This was born out of a backstage brawl last week between Cheng Yu and Nakamura, which led to that week's opponent for the Dragon, AJ Styles, and the Ace splitting up the fight.
That's right, and just as a little backtrack here, last week, we see AJ Styles obviously a part of this match, partnering with Cheng Yu. Cheng Yu and AJ Styles went toe to toe last week. They opened up last week's card, and Cheng Yu got the victory there. So it's going to be interesting to see these two work together going up against Shinsuke Nakamura and Hiroshi Tanahashi.
Very interesting to see if any of these people can work together and how badly Cheng Yu and Shinsuke Nakamura want to tear each other apart.
It's going to be a good match. I think it's going to be a great tag team match. AJ Styles obviously spent a lot of time overseas in New Japan. No stranger to that style of wrestling. No stranger to the other competitors in this match. I think it's going to be interesting to see him tagged with Cheng Yu. But honestly, if I were to pick a team in this match, I would probably go with Shinsuke Nakamura and Hiroshi Tanahashi, just because, AJ Styles' debut was just last week. He lost to Cheng Yu. Cheng Yu put up one hell of a fight. So did AJ, but it's going to be one hell of a tag team match.
Indeed. Of course, this is our final show before the pay-per-view, the only one left with pay-per-view implications, as our pre-show will be showing off some of the next generational talent that we have. Alright. It's all going to be happening here tonight.
No question about it, David. The phenomenal AJ Styles. Very hard not to like. I've been following his career since the old NWA TNA days. Back when he was the first X Division champion. Quite a different competitor then than he is today. Of course, that was a long time ago. He's aged. He's still a great competitor, great in-ring performer. But if you watch any of the old NWA TNA matches prior to him becoming the first X Division champion, and when he was the first X Division champion, his in-ring repertoire and moveset was a lot different than it is today. More high-flying, but again, you adapt and react and you evolve with what you're capable of doing so that you're able to continue to do it. So I respect that too.
I mean, I can't help but just sort of bust a move to Shinsuke Nakamura's theme.
Oh, I absolutely... I got to tell you, there's only a handful of themes that I have that on my phone, and Shinsuke Nakamura's is one of them, and I actually have both versions of it because there's two different versions of it.
Indeed.
I absolutely love that song, his entry music. I love his in-ring style, his acumen, his capability. I love the red leather. Good things come from red leather. Look at Michael Jackson. Look at Eddie Murphy. Look at Shinsuke Nakamura. There's a pattern there. I absolutely love this man when it comes to an in-ring performance, and it's going to be one hell of a match seeing him tag with his Japanese brethren, Hiroshi Tanahashi.
Shinsuke Nakamura is one of those competitors to me where it's often imitated, never replicated.
Very well said, David. I can't think of any other wrestler quite like him. I mean, even the way that he makes his entry into the ring is very cinematic, if you will. There's nobody like him.
Of course, we don't actually have the 8K cameras, we only have the 1020p cameras, unfortunately.
That's okay,
now we
because
see the
you have to have an
ace.
8K TV anyway for it to make a difference.
Well, I'm not sure you do, because if you see some of the shots that the 8K cameras from
You're right. You're right, because if you...
It does create an interesting effect.
It does. It does. So I have a 4K TV. I was watching, some 8K broadcasted content. I won't say what I was watching, but it was sports content. And even though I don't have an 8K TV, one thing that you will notice is the frame rate, right? It almost looks like you're watching a video game, to be honest. There's something about it, like the way that the background contrasts while it's out of focus. When the background is out of focus, it's focusing on its primary content. It's stellar. Pardon me, just drinking some water here, staying hydrated.
Oh! Superman punch right out of the gate.
Wow. I'm surprised that Shinsuke, wow. He got up faster than I expected.
That was 3 for 3, and now it's AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura in the ring.
Definitely have a lot of respect, David, for both of these competitors. As I was talking about AJ earlier, Shinsuke Nakamura, no different in that regard when it comes to respect that I have for those competitors.
Of course, the level of spectacle you get when AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura get into the ring, when AJ Styles and Hiroshi Tanahashi get into the ring, really seems like Cheng has the most to prove. All three of the other competitors being tenured New Japan legends.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more there. Of the 4 people in this match, I think, yes, you're absolutely right, David, that Cheng Yu is the one that I think has the most to prove. But I will also argue that his outing last week against AJ Styles was very good. He got the victory over AJ.
Certainly one of the highlighted matches.
Absolutely. And it was AJ who had that preemptive attack, and it didn't pay off for him, did it?
Of course, AJ sometimes plays by a very loose moral guide when it comes to these situations. Notice that sometimes you don't have to be as straight edge.
Well, and in this case, we're talking about a tag team match. There's a lot more going on, and a lot more opportunities to really kind of undercut your opponent. Wow.
think AJ for a second forgot that his target was Nakamura and not Tanahashi.
I was going to say that. I was like, I'm going to wait for a second to see what's going on because I wanted to see that play out.
Thinking better of it there, could be ducking in. Oh, I'm seeing some tag team maneuvers here.
That's what you like to see in any tag team match, like I was saying in the previous. That tandem maneuvering, knowing when to tag in your partner, and not only that, but knowing when it's appropriate to do some kind of tandem maneuvering, because sometimes you'll just see a tag and that's that. Smart thing is to tag that partner in and utilize tag team rules and get that one tandem maneuver in before the other person exits the ring. I gotta tell you, Shinsuke, I love Shinsuke, but he's not been looking that great in this match up to this point. Obviously it's a tough competitive matchup, but Cheng and AJ Styles are really giving these guys the business.
Indeed, it certainly seems that Cheng just wants to hit Shinsuke Nakamura as hard as he possibly can.
Well, I've said it once and I'll say it again. Cheng represents China, right? And obviously you got the Japanese representation in there. And, the Chinese and the Japanese haven't been getting along for years. But their food has never gotten along with my stomach, I'll tell you that much.
Indeed, all of this rooting from the two very different martial styles that come from their respective backgrounds.
And I think that's where AJ kind of has an advantage here, because AJ has spent so much time in Japan working with the Japanese stars out there. And it was obviously very deep involvement that he had. So his exposure to that, I think, is a feather in his cap, an ace in his pocket, an arrow in his quiver when it comes to this tag team match. Oh God.
Of course, getting roundabout games of the each competitor versus each competitor game here. Oh, AJ Styles looking for the calf crusher.
Very well done by AJ. Good ring position too.
Out of it.
Oof. Look at that. I mean, Nakamura not looking great. I'm sorry to say it. I get no satisfaction out of saying it. I think he's out cold on the side of the ring now, but wow. Cheng really doing a good job.
Tanahashi got the high fly flow on AJ Styles there.
In the ring, outside the ring action, simultaneously. I mean, you got to feel for the ref. It's hard to call these kind of matches like this when there's complete pandemonium. But it's a good opportunity for AJ or Tanahashi to potential. Wow.
No water in the pool for AJ right there.
Yeah, a big swing and a miss there. Those high-risk maneuvers, that's why they call them high risk, right? If you can nail it, they pay off. But if you miss it, you're going to be digging yourself out of a grave for a little bit. Although I have to admit, AJ did a really good job bouncing back from that.
Indeed.
I thought I thought that was it, David.
So did I. I thought Cheng Yu with the guard.
Yeah, it was a perfect opportunity. You know, styles clash. Shinsuke on the outside, Tanahashi on the ground, Cheng Yu on guard. I thought it was there, but it wasn't. Now it seems that, you know, at least for the time being, I mean, honestly, but I don't know about you, David, but in my opinion, in this match so far, we were talking about Cheng Yu needing to prove something here. I honestly think that for the most part, Cheng Yu has been probably the MVP of this match.
Certainly seems that way. Cheng Yu, bloodlust, the only the right word that's going on right now. Cheng Yu, seemingly scouting his opponent, actually knows exactly where to be focusing his strikes.
Some kind of signs of life from Shinsuke Nakamura. But Cheng Yu's all over him. And we're seeing more of those just a few seconds ago, you know, those kicks from Cheng Yu, the brutal. We were seeing those last week when he was going up against AJ Styles, and they were very effective.
Does seem like Cheng Yu wants to render Shinsuke Nakamura inoperant.
I think Cheng Yu here. Oh, goodness gracious. There we go. Cheng Yu splitting
Cheng Yu
open.
busted open.
Yup. That red letter's not looking so good right now.
I mean, dyed a little bit redder.
Yeah, not Shinsuke's best outing. Cheng Yu's, like I said, Cheng Yu has been the MVP in this matchup. And he gets that
Almost
pin.
seemed like he was saying to Nakamura he didn't deserve to be pinned.
That's an interesting sentiment, David.
Calling
I think you're
Hiroshi
right.
Tanahashi at the last second. Delivering a direct kick to the head. And putting an end on the match.
I mean, why do you think that he would feel that way about Shinsuke? That he didn't deserve to pin him?
Feel like it's a sign of disrespect.
Right. That's kind of what I'm getting to. I guess that is a very big sign of disrespect. Good for these two. Good for AJ and Cheng Yu, especially considering how we saw these two go at it last week. It's warming to see them perform so well together, and hats off to Cheng Yu, because in my opinion, AJ had a great outing, but Cheng Yu was the MVP in that match for me.
Indeed, have to agree there. Although I have to wonder what AJ's condition is after that jump with no water in the pool.
That's a very good point.
Now, we finally get our final competitor into the women's fatal four-way. A lot of Fs. If for the Lunar Championship at New Moon, will it be Bianca Belair or Kairi Sane joining Lil M, Lady Hawk, and Alexa Bliss?
Yeah, this is going to be a very hard match to predict, David. I love both these competitors. If I had to pick a favorite, I would say Kairi Sane, but something inside of me tells me that Bianca Belair will be able to out-wrestle Kairi. Now, I'm just going through my records here as Bianca makes her entrance, and I don't think we've seen Kairi yet in Eclipse. And now I'm going back and double checking, and I don't think that we have seen. Oh yeah, we have. No, so both of these women I don't show, unless I'm missing something. We saw Bianca Belair a few weeks ago. Yep, her against Mickie James.
Yes.
Okay.
Against Mickie James, so maybe some history with Alexa Bliss as well.
Yeah, I remember that too, because if I remember correctly, I think Alexa Bliss was on the sidelines during that match. I could be wrong. Again, I'm going off my notes here.
She was indeed. And the crowd just exploding for Kairi Sane.
It's so hard, David, not to like Kairi Sane. I mean, there's a certain arrogance that you see, or at least that I see, when I see Bianca Belair enter the ring. She's kind of skipping along, waving her hair around. She's a little arrogant. Not to say that she doesn't have a right to be. Kairi Sane, I think, is more humble. It's very hard not to like Kairi Sane. A great in-ring performer for a competitor of her size.
Indeed. Joshi competition is fierce, even for those of the smallest stature.
Yeah, I mean, don't let size fool you, because, going back to Alexa Bliss is like 5'1", 5'2", and she's obviously very well capable of performing in the ring. Now, Kairi Sane is the same height. Kairi Sane is 5'2", 115 pounds.
Indeed. Although I always like to say that Kairi Sane never turned heel, she just became a little more mischievous.
I agree with you. I agree with you on that. To me, in my mind, she was never formally a heel. Maybe it's because I'm being a little biased.
She was too likable.
Yeah,
she's
just
hands down too likable.
Exactly. It's very hard not to like Kairi Sane, in my opinion. Again, just to reiterate, I have no problems with Bianca Belair. I like Bianca Belair, but if you're on the outside looking in and you've never seen these two people compete before, it's very easy to, in my opinion, potentially, see the arrogance in Bianca. And again, her hair, I don't know how that's legal, because that's dangerous. That's like the beard that we saw earlier, but this is even worse. I mean, you can lose an eye, you can actually legitimately get cut open, because that is a legit weapon that she has on her head. I mean, look, she herself can get tangled up in it. And for a while, I thought it was fake. I thought it was an extension. And then somebody told me, no, it was real. And I said, are you sure? I always thought it was an extension that she put in.
Not quite sure either on that one, to be honest.
Because I swear I've seen pictures of her, in social media where her hair is not that long.
Either way, it's in now, and that means that it is a viable part of the match. Of course, the referee yet in no position to try and remove the weapon, as it were.
The ref needs to be careful himself, because if you're too close to the action between these two, he could become a how do you say, collateral damage, if you will, with that whip of that hair. I mean, I got to get measuring tape out, but she's 5'7", and that hair goes almost exactly to the it's past her knees. It's.
I think we're gonna have a contest: Bianca Belair's hair versus the giant jobber's beard.
Oh, could you imagine that? I could see those two things getting tangled up together. They'll have to call the match as a draw. Or, in fact, that's actually a good stipulation. It would be like a strap match. Instead, you just tie her hair to his beard.
Oh, Christ. Well, she would probably be able to lift him because you don't get the nickname the EST without being the strongest and the fastest.
That's
so
well said.
Maybe she would be able to lift up the behemoth.
With the longest hair I've ever seen in my life, she has that advantage. If you were to strap those two together, she's got the length there. Kairi Sane, no surprise with her in-ring acumen and her capabilities.
These two have been going really back and forth in the early goings here.
Yes, it's been a very back and forth match. Neither one of the two competitors really controlling the pace of the match yet, in my opinion. It's been back and forth, which is good because that's what you'd expect from the likes of Kairi Sane, and it's what you'd expect from the likes of Bianca Belair. And again, there's contention here. There's something on the line here, right? There's a slot in that women's fatal four-way, right? You got Little M, Lady Hawk, and Alexa Bliss.
Bianca Belair potentially looking for something off the top rope here. Huge moonsault.
Wow.
First pinfall attempt of the night for these two. Nothing, just a one count. Kairi Sane, of course, very used to being on the top rope. Not so much being on the receiving end of it.
Yeah, I was going to say that exact thing. You know, one of the things that Kairi Sane is known for is those high-risk top of the rope maneuvers. We saw an attempt earlier, didn't exactly pay off for her, but both of these competitors really staying on top of one or the other with the pin attempts.
Ooh, up overhead drop. Bianca Belair feeling confident in that, going for another pin. Whoa!
Wow.
Out of nowhere.
Unbelievable. Wow.
Perhaps Kairi Sane taking it a bit more on the head.
I want to see
knocking
a replay.
him a bit senseless during that match.
That was a lot. Good for Bianca Belair.
Whoa! Bianca Belair laying in the boots to Kairi Sane.
Oh, God. Insult to injury.
Jesus.
Insult to injury. No reason for that, Bianca Belair. No reason for that at all.
Jesus.
You know what?
Of course, Bianca Belair now the fourth entrant in that match. Maybe showing a bit of a sharper edge heading into that to be a bit more in contention.
I was gonna say that could not have been personal in my opinion. I think she did that to make a statement to the locker room, specifically Lil M, Lady Hawk, and Alexa Bliss, because now she has punched her ticket. Bianca Belair has punched her ticket into that fatal four-way.
Of course, now we see the other contender for the Solar Championship facing off with the Switchblade, Jay White.
Tommaso Omega has made quite a name for himself up to this point here at Eclipse Pro Wrestling, but he's going to have an uphill battle going up against the likes of Jay White, in my opinion. Jay White's weighing in at 220 pounds, about 6'1". Obviously, anybody who follows New Japan is
Funnily enough, I do not see this match going going a medium amount of time. It's either going to be a very short affair or a very long affair in my mind.
what makes you say that? I'm just curious.
Both of these people known for their explosive starts, but also known to be able to go the distance. We are.
This has potential to be match of the night.
This does have the potential to be match of the night, although it could be very hard to steal the spotlight from our main event 4-team Eliminator match.
What a night of action it's actually been. Honestly, maybe it's because I'm sitting here with you, David, calling it, but it's been very fast paced. Tommaso Omega's gear. I want to meet the person who designed that. I mean, I love it. It's just it's very unusual, and I mean that in a positive way. The costume designers or whatever you want to call them, I don't know what their official job titles are called. First of all, I respect the cape. I respect the cape. Superman wore a cape. Batman wore a cape. I respect the cape. But I think it fits and suits him well. And he stands out.
Of course, it's representative of his heritage, wanting to be the pinnacle of his historical training. Of course, that continues at New Moon as he hunts for the Solar Championship.
And hunting he will, like I said earlier.
Can he be the shining beacon of light? Can he be the sun to the eclipse?
Very well said. And going back at the previous week's cards, we know what he's capable of, and I would argue that there's still a lot that we don't know what he's capable of, and I mean that in a positive way. But all of his opponents up to this point, going back at the record books, have been uphill battles for him, and what I mean by that is they've all been very good competitors.
Indeed. Very high caliber. Jay White no less. But I did just realize the symbology of the match at New Moon. The Dark Star versus the Shining Light.
Wow.
Will the sun be a beacon for all those in Eclipse, or will this star go dark?
Isn't that a supernova? I don't know. I don't know my astrology all that well. I should probably brush it up on it a little bit, huh, David?
Jay White making his way to the ring now. Of course, a New Zealand native. Earned his reputation as the Switchblade in New Japan. Initially rejected Bullet Club under Kenny Omega's leadership, but now we see the Switchblade come to roost in Eclipse.
Pull up my calendar here, because just to be clear, So the pay-per-view will be on Saturday. A lot of people are accustomed to Sundays. I had to double check my calendar there. February is a short month.
The pay-per-view will be on
Saturday.
Sunday.
Oh, well, Sunday for to the 27th.
The 28th.
Ah, that is Sunday.
We'll have our usual show at the usual time as well.
Could be one hell of a go-home show.
Ooh.
Tommaso doing a good job staying on top of Jay White. I mean, not much of a pin attempt there, but still nonetheless a pin attempt, right?
Jeez. Jay White deciding he wants a ring instead.
I sense some frustration there.
Tommaso Omega not letting it end out there.
Well, it gives Tommaso an opportunity. Look, Jay White, that was a little foolish in my opinion, because you can show frustration, whatever, but you turn your back on a match like that, and it puts you in a position where it could potentially be very unlikable.
Zig has just counted 7. Yep, back inside at the 8 count. Jesus, it was close there. I don't think the Spartan is going to take that too lightly. He's taking it all. Tommaso Omega right here.
Yeah, Tommaso Omega has been controlling this match, and honestly, it's not a surprise to me, considering that Jay White already showed his frustration and was walking out of the match at one point there, as we saw just a few minutes ago. Tommaso's being fierce right now.
Tommaso Omega definitely not letting Jay White breathe in this match.
Good strategy. Stay on top of your opponent like white on rice in a snowstorm, as the expression goes. Which rice isn't white, rice is like an off yellow. A hard rice.
Omega got something in mind. Oh, huge elbow drop. 1, 2. Only getting 2.
But still, Tommaso staying all over him.
This is it. Lining up for the spear. Drives right through. Jay White kicks out of the spear.
Wow.
Crazy. Wonders what it's going to take to keep Jay White down.
As long as he continues to stay on top of Jay White, I think that as long as he maintains that strategy and the momentum, that he'll be good. But Jay White has to find an opportunity here. I don't know how well his head is in the game. We saw the frustration from Jay White earlier, and while we have seen some great maneuvering from Jay White, I just don't. I mean, I don't know how you feel about this, David, but for me, it doesn't seem like his head is completely in the game. Where Tommaso has been completely on point.
Does seem that he is fighting entirely off instinct here. Oh, the spine buster. Could that be it? And that was all she wrote.
I was wondering what it was going to take to keep Jay White down, because Jay White had kicked out of so much that Tommaso was throwing everything in the kitchen sink at him. And it was just a matter of what will it take to get him to stay down, and there we saw it. Good for Tommaso Omega. And again, I make the same argument I was making just a few seconds ago, David. I don't think Jay White's head was in this match at all. I think he had a bad attitude, and it was his Achilles heel.
Indeed. Of course, now that leaves us just with our main event of the evening.
We won hell of a main event too.
The 4-team Eliminator.
Blood Moon.
Of course, both members of a team have to be eliminated before the team is eliminated. Last two teams head to New Moon to face off for the Equinox Championships. The winning team gets to pick the stipulation.
A lot on the line here in this match. Again, we're seeing Blue Moon versus OG Club versus Young Bucks versus Silhouettes of Redemption. Definitely has main event caliber written all over it, David.
Indeed. Very interesting, hey, who walks away with the chance at the tag team titles.
I gotta say, every division in Eclipse Pro Wrestling is absolutely incredible to me, and I've said it before. Tag team wrestling has always been my favorite division of any Fed, and this is no different. Eclipse Pro Wrestling's tag team division is absolutely stacked. It's very competitive, and to get to this point, it's been a long and winding road.
Now it's finally time to head down to the ring. Who will we see first out? Eerie quiet over the crowd as we await the first team. Ooh, it's the Silhouettes of Redemption making their way to the ring first.
Very interesting. SOR coming down here first. SOR, going back in the record books up to this point in Eclipse Pro Wrestling, all of their opponents have been Japanese teams. Whether it was Bullet Club or LIJ. You might be missing one now. Pardon me. But they've really done well so far as a tag team here in Eclipse Pro Wrestling. But this match is going to be unlike any other match Silhouettes of Redemption, I think, has ever been in.
Indeed. I think that Silhouettes of Redemption do have a strong advantage in this match, both previously having singles competitor experience, because it is pretty much a free-for-all. As much as you are looking out for your partner, you have to make sure that you're not pinned or submitted in this match as well.
Agreed. And like you said, Silhouettes of Redemption make up Drekvac and Des the Destroyer, like you mentioned, they have experience as a tag team, a lot of experience as a tag team, but I would say they have just as much experience in singles competition as they do in tag team competition. So that's definitely an arrow in their quiver.
Of course, the Young Bucks making their way to the ring second.
Now, one advantage that the Young Bucks have, in my opinion, is, first of all, these guys are literally blood related. So when one person is thinking one thing, I'm sure the other one's right on board. As a tag team, these guys work so well together. Their track record speaks for themselves. Very talented individuals, very capable, high risk taking, high flying, maneuvering. That these guys are well within the realm of their repertoire, their move set. So I think that's going to be an advantage for them in this match.
Another banger theme, if I can say so myself. Shane McMahon's theme, as much as the bloke himself is rather uninteresting. Who are we waiting on now?
I know, I'm in suspense here.
Another banger theme, but it is New Moon. A very interesting strategy in their previous match against Suzuki-gun. Now we see them both in constant competition in this 8-man 4-team Eliminator.
Yeah, that match that you're talking about with Blood Moon and Suzuki-gun, that was just last week. And, I think Blood Moon really, that's really where they, in my opinion, made that impression, or that positive impression to be where they are here in this match. That just leaves the OG club. I mean, honestly, all four of these tag teams are deserving. Obviously, they've made it they've made it this far to get to this match, but it's very difficult for me to say anything negative about either one of these four tag teams.
And of course the final team, none other than the Good Brothers representing the OG club.
Right, the Good Brothers, Gallows and Anderson. These guys work very well together as a tag team. A lot of experience working as a tag team. I think that they mesh very well together. If they were to be a sandwich, it would be peanut butter and jelly, and it's peanut butter and jelly time from the looks of what they appear as they come into the ring here.
Funnily enough, seeing Silhouettes of Redemption and New Moon standing near each other in the background there. Wonder if there's any history between those guys.
Well, I can tell you what.
The match has started.
Yep, it's time to light this candle.
Free for all, absolute chaos and pandemonium.
Pandemonium is right. Pandemonium is the best way to call it. And the ref, I mean, calling this match it would be very difficult from a ref standpoint.
Indeed, just has to make sure he keeps an eye out. Any pinfalls or submissions inside the ring, that's the only place that they can occur. Seeing two members, I believe that is Pat Downs and Trebek of Silhouettes of Redemption, spilled to the outside. attempt all lost and broken up by Luke Gallows.
That was surprising to see a submission attempt with so much action going on in the ring. I mean, valiant effort, but just so much going on. It's very easy to break that up.
Indeed.
To your point, we still got Drek on the outside, not looking too great right now, but they're still, we're just kicking off here. So, and as you mentioned, they're outside the ring, so from an elimination standpoint, they're safe.
Very impressive Garrett Vera staying in the ring. Big man. Staying in, doing a lot of damage. Dealing with a lot of people not his size. Seems to be taking quite a liking to either member of the Young Bucks and Carl Anderson.
Garrett and Gallows are the two biggest guys in this match. Now I'm trying to see. It's hard to tell, but I'm just trying to do a height comparison.
I think he's only a couple inches taller from my estimates here. Whoa! Doing a bit of a...
So Luke Gallows is 6'8". 6'7", 6'8". So, put it in perspective.
Just a little bit of crossplay there between the members of Blood Moon.
So much action going on in this match right now, David. In the ring, out of the ring, back and forth, tit for tat. Well, somebody just got split open. And I think it was Garrett. Oh, my goodness. I think I was wrong about that. I think it was Greg who got split.
A single person has been eliminated thus far.
Not yet, and it looks like Drek was the one that got split open there. I thought it was Garrett. Right at this, it was like right around the same time that he got split open. I saw, pardon me, I saw Gallows throw a pretty decent elbow strike at Garrett on the outside, so that's why I got confused there. But wow, this is a lot of action, David. Dez is taking a beating.
Ooh, that was quite a super kick. Gets the shoulders up. Dez still in the fight.
Dez very close there to getting eliminated. Wow. This is all over the place.
Indeed, I'm not even sure who's going here.
I don't know if you saw that. It looked like Garrett speared Gallows a few minutes ago there.
Garrett just breaking up a pinfall attempt on Garrett there. Oh, Pat Down's breaking up Dez's.
Well, the ref's down, so there's not going to be any pin counts for a minute. It was only a matter of time until I figured the ref got knocked out. There's so much going on. I mean, it's like a police officer trying to direct traffic. Again, nobody's been eliminated yet.
Jesus. Yeah. So could be a very warmed up office for all the competitors in this match.
Well, there's a lot on the line here. More blood.
Ooh, the Young Bucks just lost a member.
I think we got 4 people split open now. Unbelievable. Very, very difficult to call because there's just so much going on. Now that there's at least been one elimination, it brings it down a little bit, but as you said, both members of any tag team have to be eliminated. By the end of this match, I predict everybody's going to be split open because there's it's like you said, complete pandemonium.
There's been taken a Suplex City by
Garrett there.
Indeed.
He's definitely showing his physical prowess. Although I think that there's just so much going on. I mean, oh! I thought we were going to see another elimination, but so Drek, Garrett. I'm trying to see who else. Well, we had more people split open. Maybe they were eliminated.
One member of the Young Bucks has been eliminated, and that is all.
Gallows is wearing the crimson mask. Drek is.
A gun stun on Drek there, and Drek has been eliminated.
That's not going to bode well for SOR, just like it doesn't bode well for the Young Bucks, each of them being down one member. That's unfortunate because I thought that we were talking about SOR's advantage here, but you know what? There's just so much competition in this match, so much on the line in this match that it's very difficult to predict.
Of course, both members of Blood Moon, both members of the Good Brothers still standing.
They currently are tied in the advantage. I mean, you got one member of the Young Bucks out and one member of SOR out.
Luke Gallows eliminated.
There was that power bomb that we saw, that power bomb that Nez delivered to eliminate the big man.
True.
Now Dez is
It's
split
official.
open.
It's the Good Brothers verse.
Blue Moon. I'm sorry, Blue Moon. Sorry, Blood Moon. Dez got split open, and that was it for Dez. Wow, what a match this has
Carl
been.
Anderson fighting alone to be able to pick the stipulation.
Dez doing. Okay, I thought Dez was. I saw Dez on the outside, and it looked like it looked. Okay, he's leaving. Okay. Expecting some foul play there.
Ooh.
Wow. Unbelievable. Crowd on their feet, every reason to be. Carl Anderson really holding his own here.
Garrett Vera eliminated. Pat Downs.
That's it. Then there were two.
Winner picks the stick.
Oof. I got to tell you, that was a lot happened in a small amount of time in this match. I mean, from the beginning, there was so much action, and that action went for a long period of time, and then it was systematic, one by one, people being eliminated. And then there were two.
Anderson in control for the moment. Can he control enough to get that stipulation pick?
This is definitely match of the night. I was talking about potential for a previous match to be that, but with Jay White's attitude, I think that disqualifies that from being match of the night. This has definitely been, in my opinion, match of the night because it's been jam-packed with action, great competitors, and fierce competition. A lot of people getting cut open here in this match. A lot on the line in this match.
Whoa! That quite similar to the SOS kick. Let's head up to the top. Oh! The shooting star press.
Very well done.
Blood Moon. Pick the stipulation.
That was one hell of a match.
Versus Blood Moon. Jesus.
One hell of a match. I mean, that four-way tag team, double elimination. Great outing, really, by every team there. It's just that there was so much going on, and it came down to the last two there, Blood Moon and OG Club, and gotta hand it to Blood Moon for getting the W there. Now they can pick the stip.
Garrett will be taking the week to fix as much of the bleeding as he can.
There was a lot of blood in this match. A lot of people were cut open in this match. I mean, more so than not, right? The majority of people in this match got seriously hurt.
Indeed. Although that has been our main event. Any last words, Steven Anderson?
Just thank you, everybody, for watching, whether it's live or replay, for supporting Eclipse Pro Wrestling. Stay tuned for more action.
Indeed. We have our pre-pay-per-view show, same time next week, as well as the Sunday pay-per-view, the 28th. So we will see you then. Till then, I've been David Scheller.
And I have been Steven Anderson.
Indeed, and this has been Eclipse Pro Wrestling. Thank you everyone for tuning in. This will be live on YouTube as soon as it can be. So, we'll see you then.